Awesome.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yes. Right. Shall we kick it off? Seems like everybody's able to attend now. And thanks everybody for having your patience there as we got some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I think we're good to go. Everyone's here.
Okay, great. How about we start with some introductions?
Yeah, so Otharan here. I'm from the founding team. Most people in the community know me. I've been here since the start. Helped put the roadmap together, worked with the artists, and let some of the other team members introduce themselves as well.
Yeah, the bear here. I'm from the founding team that started the project, and I'm leading the marketing activities in the project. And we have done a lot of good stuff for you guys to know about today.
Fantastic. Thank you. Okay, so I suppose a little bit of context for everybody listening today. We've taken a lot of questions in the Discord already, and I've compiled those, and we'll go through those shortly. I'd just like to point out that I've added another channel. Let me point that out to you all there now, in case anybody wants to type in, add any other questions in the meantime. Where's that?
Oh, Abul Fouf just jumped in as well, so Abul Fouf is our creative head. I'll let him introduce himself as well.
Awesome. Hey, Abu.
Fuad, you're live.
Yeah, we're not hearing you too
Hi,
clearly
everyone.
There. Hey.
Really excited to be with you all today.
Hey, man.
This has been a crazy journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and a lot of people have been asking about members of the team who aren't doxed. So Abul Fouf is going to dox himself today as well towards the end of the call. So you guys will have some more clarity about who's behind the project and the amazing team behind all of what you've seen so far.
Great, awesome. Okay, so I suppose we can go into some of the questions that people have already asked. But I'll just point out in advance, I've over in the community section on the left-hand side in Discord, you'll see AMA pop-up channel. You should be able to write questions in there if anybody has them. And hopefully we have time to get to some of those later as well. But I'll jump into some of the questions that have already been asked. Okay. So I'll put this out there, and whoever wants to take it, please take it. So what do you see as the most important elements when building a big vision project like this one?
I mean, I gotta say, I think it comes down to the community first. I think we have an amazing community. Some of the guys in here have been in here with us since early December when we started off with just 1,000 members, and we've grown significantly since then. I'm in plenty of communities, and I think the engagement that we have between our members is outstanding. And then, of course, there's the art and the utility. But I definitely say community comes first. What do you think, Fuad? Fuad?
Yeah, I can hear you. What do I say?
I suppose the question was, what would you
Let me take it.
Go for it.
Let me take that. Yeah. So, like, I completely agree. The community, what we're building here, it's something very unique. We've been in many projects before. We joined in the board for other projects. And what we see here in our club, it's something completely unique since the beginning. So, yeah. Abul Fouf, can you hear us?
Absolutely. Sorry for the hiccup, technical glitch. I just love the storyline. I mean, it brings it home. You know, there's so many facets to it. You can go really, really deep in it, and that really makes it a really special offering. And what I like the most is that there's a lot of thought put into it. The development of the characters, their powers, how they conquer the metaverse. There's a lot of exceptional, gameplay that's going to come in the future, and utilities that we're really, really excited about. I don't want to tell you more. I think you'll discover as you go along on the website, but we kind of give you tips. But we've actually created a massive world called Arcuda, and it's just actually functioning. And there's a place for every creature to revel and exceed, and it's very perfectly balanced. So yeah, that gets me really, really excited from a lore point of view.
Yeah, I think you guys have touched on like all of the really important subjects there, you know, between the community, which is obviously huge. I don't mean in terms of just the size of the community here, but the importance, and also the utility, which is, you know, it's quite unique to this project. And then the storyline as well. I think those are really the unique points with this project. So yeah, great answers. So in terms of long-term vision, so we know this is a long-term project, but what kind of vision do you have for CryptoBear Watch Club? Let's say 3 years from now, what's the roadmap for the Arcuda ecosystem beyond this? I know that's a huge question, but
I'm gonna try to answer that without giving away so much alpha, because we don't want to put everything on the table.
Of course.
Our vision 3 years from now is to be a leading luxury brand in the digital space. So down the road, we're looking at how we can create digital luxury NFTs, which have a real world component as well. So we might be using different watches today, but that might not necessarily be the case down the road. We've dropped hints over the past few months about how the project is going to develop, between the land on Sandbox, the play to earn game that we have in the pipeline, as well as the other characters which are going to be dedicated to different luxury goods. So what I will say is think about the top jewelry brands in the world today, the top fashion brands when it comes to clothing, when it comes to watches, when it comes to cars. You know, the sky's the limit. The sky is actually not the limit in the metaverse. So that's what we aspire to be.
Yeah, that's true. Anybody else want to go at that? That was a good answer. Does anybody else want to chime in on that question, or shall I move on to the next one? I realize we've got quite a few questions to get through, so I'll leave that up to you guys.
Yeah, I mean, guys, you could feel free to take a dig at it.
I'm just worried to give too much. I'm just worried to give too much away. You know, it's the story that unravels with time, and we want everybody to be as excited as us, and we don't want to give too much away. But honestly, what's going to happen in Arcuda is pretty extraordinary, and the battles that happen, and there's also the volcano which signals kind of a new era, and all of these things kind of work. Well, it's a bit like a crazy version of Harry Potter, you know. So I don't want to say anymore because this will be giving away too much. But honestly, the story develops into many years from now, which is something that's really that we're really passionate about. That's all I want to say for now.
I'd say it's more Lord of the Rings than Harry Potter. I mean, you guys are going to see next week with our new 3D teasers which are coming out about the volcano and the city based around the volcano. I mean, if anyone's a Lord of the Rings fan, think about Minas Tirith and how that was built. And our lore is also built in a similar fashion. So we'll drop all of that news post-mint along with the different characters in the world of Arcuda.
And I encourage you guys to visit our website. There is a section for the land that you can get just a sense of what's gonna happen. It's just a little sense of what we're building.
Fantastic. That's great. Thank you, guys. So in terms of, coming together and trying to build a huge project like this one, what kind of inspiration do you take from other projects? Is there any other projects in the NFT space that you really admire that kind of, inspired you to go and put CryptoBear Watch Club together?
I mean, definitely CloneX. What Artifact has done with their their initial drops when it was the digital wearables, that inspired us. The way they sort of built the ecosystem and how they've progressed and developed the ecosystem. So we took a lot of inspiration from the pods which they dropped to their CloneX folders, and we might have something similar planned in our roadmap. The way they're airdropping the 3D enabled avatars to all of their members as well. I mean, that's something which we have on the roadmap as well for all of the owners of the CBWC. So definitely CloneX. And when it comes to community, I'm a huge fan of the Azuki community. And that's one of the main reasons we've offered whitelist spots to Azuki holders. I mean, if you just join their community, it's amazing. And I think those are two aspirational projects, at least myself. I can't speak on behalf of Abul Foof and the Bear, but I'll let them give you their opinion too.
I think Hype Ape is like tremendous. I mean, graphic wise, the level of rendering is, and the kind of the way they bring those apes to life and the kind of the different variations, that was really, really inspiring. Like, can we push something? But I think one of the challenges for us was the fur of the bear. That's insane to render. But we're really, really excited because if we could do something as good as Hype Bear, but with a solid storyline, then we think we've got a winner. So that was like a really big inspiration for us at the beginning. But now, when we started seeing the development of the characters and the storyline, we're very confident that we've got something that's going to last way beyond the hype of kind of a couple of films. It's something that can go on for a long time.
But to be honest, Fuad, I think that the 3D bear which we're dropping this week to the community, I think that's quite a bit better than what Hate Beast managed to put out at the end. I'm not hating on Hate Beast. I like the project, but I think what we're going to show our community this week is above and beyond.
Cool.
Yeah, and what I want to add here, that when we started the project and look at the projects that started at the beginning, what I like on what we're building is we get something unique from every other project and we build on top of that. So the mix that we have, the hype in the community from like project started from the beginning, like Bored Ape, and then the other community inspiration that happened in Shiba, the art from Artifacts. Like we're getting a lot of inspiration from other projects, but we're doing that mix together with the luxury aspect out of it to come up with something completely unique and new to the community.
Cool. That sounds great. Yeah, and a lot of really solid projects mentioned there as well. So, okay, so we have a lot of questions. I'm just trying to figure out the best flow to it here. So maybe a nice one would be, what kind of opportunities will there be for active community members to earn tokens and rewards over time? Or I guess that's something that will be developed out over time. But yeah, if there's any specific ideas or any things we'd like to do that we could mention.
I mean, we're definitely going to reward our members with our native token, with the Arcuda token. We haven't decided on what levels of engagement, but it's in the works. We have been discussing it for a while. But I think our focus right now is mainly to get the project out, make sure our code is solid, make sure the art is solid, there's no kinks whatsoever in any of the layers, to finalize the 3D models, to make sure we get that done in time over the next few months to airdrop to our users. So that's been on our priority list. And then it's how the token distribution is going to go to the community for engagement, etc.
Awesome. And touching on that again, it kind of something that was mentioned about CloneX and their actual, producing things in real life for the NFT holders. And I know obviously with CryptoBear Watch Club, we obviously have the watch element. But aside from that, do you think there will be community merch available? I know a lot of people might like to represent their CryptoBear NFTs. And stuff like that. Is that something that we might have on the cards?
Yeah, so we have some merch. We just sneak peeked a few T-shirts on Instagram Live. We're working with some really high-end producers. I mean, some of the guys on the team, they have background from the fashion industry. So what we're focusing on is, if you look at all of the bears that we have several different outfits. So we're going to have some standard merchandise, which any of our members can purchase, T-shirts and stuff like that, basic hoodies. But then we're going to have all of the merch, which is on the bears, available exclusively for the NFT holders who have bears which match those outfits. And they will be custom made just for them.
I just want to say, guys, that we have got very cool merchants coming. We received some samples, and it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be amazing, unique, and I think that will be a big leverage to our holders only, because nobody would access that but our holders.
Thank you very much. Yeah, that sounds great. Okay, so I guess in terms of the game element to the project and play to earn game development, when can we expect to see opportunities for people to play to earn?
The play to earn is gonna be some time away. So our initial launch phase is gonna be in Sandbox. It's gonna start as a social club on Sandbox. Sandbox on its own is not going to be ready to the general public till end of 2022. So once Sandbox goes live, we're going to go live with the social clubs, hopefully for at least 2 out of our 4 characters by then. And the idea is, once the characters have been launched, then we start putting in the play to earn side, and it's going to be designed similar to an MMORPG. So we've designed it as, there's several characters and there's alliances and there's rivalry between certain characters, and characters will have to work together to overcome certain quests. And that's all I really want to say about it without dropping too much more information, because I don't want to give away all of the excitement of the news which we're going to drop post the launch.
Absolutely, and you don't want to give away your ideas either. To there's a lot of competition in this space. So
I mean, so my background is, so I've worked in global companies, and it's not the idea, it's the execution. It's always about the execution. Ideas are plenty, and I'm sure everybody could come up with a similar idea. But at the end of the day, it's how you execute on that idea and what experience you have on getting things done and delivering a quality product.
Yeah, that's very true. That's a very good point. Yeah, I guess we're all capable of coming up with, what might be. Sure, please.
Yeah, I mean, this is really exciting for us, because this is the kind of bringing together of different kind of disciplines. So, I mean, my colleagues, which shall remain nameless, like have incredible big business kind of experience and amazing execution, but strategic execution. And from my end, it's creative. And I've worked on some of the world's biggest brands and launched some of the, the biggest launches we've had globally and regionally. And this creative opportunity to kind of use innovation to kind of do a kind of a storyline that can live through time and be on the metaverse has been really, really extraordinary. So all the talents from animation to storytelling to that have been used in kind of motion films and animated stories very successfully in my original field, which is marketing and advertising and creative, have been utilized to create this kind of community and this kind of lore. And this is what kind of makes it so solid. We have four or five very, very strong founders working together from different backgrounds and creating this outstanding kind of potential of a game and of characters and a story. This is what kind of drives us all, is to working together and to do something really special.
Right there. Let me introduce to you guys Stewart. Stewart, one of our artists here in the project. Stewart, welcome.
Hello, Aziz. Thank you very much, and very nice to chat with you guys.
Hey, Stuart. Thanks for joining. Great to have you here.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, if you'd like to give any like a little introduction about yourself, anything like that, feel free. We have the time. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, no problem at all. Absolutely fine. Yeah. So, I am an illustrator for film and TV. So I work on key art for movie studios in the States and starting to expand into other regions throughout Europe and the UAE. So my kind of background as an illustrator has always been in film and TV and photography, but moved into the illustration side quite a few years ago. And now I paint digitally for places like Warner Brothers, and Netflix is one of my newest projects for some TV shows. Doing some big projects taking between 100 to 400 hours of illustration work per piece. So obviously just gone board to just to have a chat with you guys to see how things are coming along, and to discuss what how things are working and stuff.
Awesome, thank you. I must tell you, your connection was a little bit spotty in places, so some people might have missed one or two pieces.
Oh,
but,
sorry. My apologies.
Don't worry, nothing. It's I suppose it's a consequence of the kind of work we do, where we're all over the place all the time, working together from different countries. So, not to worry. There'll be plenty of time. So let's see. We'll move on to another question real quick. So in terms of the token utility that we mentioned earlier, and the the utility of the NFTs, so in terms of actual token redemption for luxury watches, so this is a question with a couple of parts kind of baked into it. So it might be kind of a technical one, but one I'm sure a lot of people are interested in. So how will the actual watch redemption work? How many tokens would be needed to buy a watch, and how many watches do we expect to be listed at once? We'll go with that part for now. There's one more part, but I don't want to throw it all in together.
So let me explain how it's gonna work. The watches, the NFTs, each of the NFTs have a rarity trait have a property called tier assigned to them, which is either tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3. And if you read our white paper in the white paper section, it really details it out. In summary, tier 1 receives 1,000 tokens a month, tier 2 gets 300 tokens, and tier 3 gets 100 tokens a month. That's of course provided your NFT is held and not listed for sale. So the way we've designed it is, on the first of every month we take a snapshot. We pay out the tokens. So let's assume we pay out 1 million tokens in the first month. What we've committed to do is spend at least 70% of the royalties generated on just watches. And we're going to go with the big brands. So we're going to be buying Rolexes, Pateks, APs, hopefully down the road RMs. And we're going to just be very transparent. We're going to show the dollar value of those purchases to the community. And the way those watches are going to be listed for sale, they're going to be listed for sale on our website in our CUDA token. And they're going to be priced such that all of the tokens paid out in any month can redeem all of the watches purchased for that month. So to keep the numbers simple, if we pay out 100,000 tokens and we purchase watches worth $100,000, the watches will be priced at 100,000 CUDA tokens. It's basically taking the royalties and giving it back to the community in the form of watches.
That's very cool, actually.
I was going to say that's very cool.
So there's a lot of There's a lot of mental math there for any NFT holder to do, isn't there?
Yeah. So what we're working on is we're going to put up a formula on the website so members can actually see very transparently how it's done. And remember, the token redemption changes on a monthly basis depending on how many people hold the NFTs and how many people actually list them for sale or flip them. So the way we thought of it is it causes a flywheel. It's a flywheel effect in a way. As members hold and the floor price tends to rise, members tend to sell, they want to cash out. That increases to higher royalties because the price is higher. And then we use those royalties to purchase more watches. And then as members see by holding their NFTs, they get access to more watches. It brings in new people who again sort of drive the price up. So it's sort of a flywheel effect which we're trying to design over here to keep things in constant motion.
That's very interesting. Yeah. There's more parts to this question, but if anybody else wants to chime in on that, or I can proceed with the next part of this question.
I think I'll keep the token questions for me because it's a bit complex, so I don't want anyone explaining it in an incorrect way.
Absolutely. Okay, well, in that case, so is there any plans to add liquidity for the token in Uniswap or other AMMs, or would that be even necessary, I guess, because and to that as well, is there a deflationary mechanism for the token? So let's say I earn X amount of Arcuda tokens from holding my NFTs, and then I swap those, I trade those in to get a luxury watch. Where do those tokens go after that? Do they stay in circulation or are they burned?
They're burned.
Okay.
So once you redeem the tokens, they're burned. Regarding Uniswap, we were actually discussing with our development team just last week. If we want the token to be tradable between members. So it will be tradable, but to put it on Uniswap, we'd have to provide liquidity for it, which we're working out how we would do that. As we speak, we've been in discussions about it, but for the first couple of months post-launch, it's going to be purely a utility token. So the redemptions would be directly to the club for the watches, and of course for the merchandise which we put out. So the basic the normal hoodies, the normal t-shirts, etc., can be redeemed in the Arcuda token, and the exclusive merchandise, which is going to be just for the people who sort of own those traits on their bears. They can redeem those using tokens as well.
Cool. That's very interesting. There's a lot to think about there. I suppose so. One further element on the tokenomics and the integration with Sandbox down the line. Will there be any link between Arcuda and Sand tokens? Will there be a need or like a functionality to swap Arcuda for Sand tokens? I'm not sure if that would be necessary, but
so Sandbox, when it first goes live, is going to be functioning on Sand token, but we've had discussions with Sandbox and they've already told us that there will be probably around, I don't know about the exact timelines, they've said it will happen probably within 6 months of launch, that you can use your native utility token on Sandbox, but when you want to sort of redeem those tokens and get them out of Sandbox, there has to be an exchange with Sand token. So you're going to have to use Sand token at some point, but you can have your earnings done in the Arcuda token.
Cool. Very good. Excuse me. Okay, so that's very interesting, actually. A lot to think about there. So I guess another question in terms of actual watches for the real watch enthusiasts in the community. Are we planning to put a secondary watch market in place for holders to sell their own watches, or would that be something we'd kind of stay clear of?
I mean, I don't know if you know this, but we had the Rolex giveaway already. One of our members won it on the invite contest. It was shipped out to him. He received it today, and the watch was actually sourced from within the community in the watch trading channel. So if you're a watch enthusiast and keep your eye on the watch channel which we have, There have been some deals done in there already. And of course, post launch, there's going to be an exclusive channel only for the NFT holders where they can trade watches amongst themselves. We as the club will not take any responsibility for deals done between members, but we will facilitate the environment where members can make deals amongst themselves.
Sure. Cool. So I guess in terms of, I suppose everything we do is online and in Discord and in Web3, in the metaverse, all of that. But turn into in real life events. When can we expect to see a meetup for the CryptoBear Watch Club community and the team? Is there anything planned for that?
100%. It's going to be towards the end of March, and Abu Fouf, our creative head, is going to plan out the entire experience.
Cool, that sounds exciting. Just a quick note, other than the signal isn't so good now, so I'm a little bit worried people might have some difficulty hearing you. I'm not sure if you're further away from the microphone.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, I got a bit distracted. Is it better now?
That's much better again. Yeah, thank you. It was pretty much fine. It was just there for the last minute or two. It was kind of fading. Okay, so here's an interesting one. What can we do as a community to really help CryptoBear Watch Club thrive? And I suppose this is a good question for everybody on the team. What would you like to see from the community in terms of helping us move forward?
I think I'll let Abu for the players take that one.
Yeah, I would love to see you guys engaging in the community. Invite your friends. Keep the word around on Twitter, on Instagram, between the other communities. So all your help, all everything that you do for the project that matters for us, and especially in social media. So invite more people to stuff like the AMA. We would love to hear and to get more questions from people, to get to know us more, to get to know more about the project, the founders, the roadmap, etc. So please spread that. Abul Fouf.
Hi. I would love you guys to kind of be active and like being a creative for many years. I was like regional executive creative director. It's all about engagement. It's all about learning from you guys. Like, what is it that you appreciate? Like, is the storyline something that works for you? It's really your feedback, your engagement, your participation, your passion. I mean, this is for you guys to enjoy. I mean, I remember like when I was like into Skyrim, and I remember how like the passion of the players was so intricately woven into the storyline because everybody participated. We want to be in the same place like this time next year. The entire kind of storyline and the entire kind of offering should be based around what you guys love about it. And this is something that we've always worked that way. It's part and parcel of developing like a great product like this one. And I mean, I'm thinking in the future, like we could have maybe something like bear cubs, like it's the equivalent of ambassadors in the real world, and you are our vessels. And I think, I mean, I'm gonna say something a bit crazy here. I hope the other bears don't get upset. I think you're lucky to be like now with us at the beginning, because the others have no idea what they're missing out on. I mean, I can tell you, I've done $1 million projects for massive brands. Like, I don't know if I should mention them. I mean, we've kind of the whole MasterCard offering in the region. We've kind of launched the Louvre Abu Dhabi, all the cars from Nissan and stuff. And I've never done something as intricate and as powerful as this, and as long term as this. So I think this is where we want you guys to be part of that journey. That's it.
Great answer. And I love the reference to Skyrim. As somebody who wasn't really much of a gamer, I spent about 300 hours on that game, very, very happily. So yeah, anything that resembles Skyrim is a good thing. So again, on the community side of things, and influence and reach, are we expecting to see additional influencer support for CryptoBear Watch Club? Is that something we're looking at?
Yeah. So, Atarin, you would like to shed light here?
Let's tell you, let's not drop the names coming in pre-launch. We can talk about the guys on board already, but we don't want to give away too much of what's happening next week.
Yeah, I know where you're coming from, because the next name, guys, is great. Is one of the biggest artists in the world. That they coming and they join us beside what joined us already. Okay, I'll stop here because you guys will see next week what's coming.
Yeah, you don't want to let the cat out of the bag before time. Totally understand that. So I noticed there's a couple of questions coming in from the community live, and one of the prevalent ones is, and I know we touched on this at the start with doxing towards the end of this call. Could we give any more details or information on the credentials and past history and expertise of all of you guys? If that's possible, a little bit more context just for the community.
Yeah, I could do a bit more. Sorry, I was ranked number one in the advertising world, executive creative director for about 8 to 10 years, and number 8 globally. So I've launched some of the biggest global brands from GM, Louvre Museum, Mastercard, and Nissan. And my main experience comes in communication, creative, advertising, and brand building. So and lots and lots. I've done over 150 television commercials and content pieces, and I've one of the first people to have won for my area. Cannes Gold Lions. This is the equivalent of Oscars for advertising and communication, and mainly predominantly in digital and activation. So this is my background, and it's mainly creative and innovation. And I've dedicated, I think, like a good 20 years of my life to that, and I've been luckily very, very successful in it. So yeah, that's my part.
So I've been on the Forbes 30 under 30 2 years in a row, the regional one from where we're from. I've worked in finance, I have worked in application development, I have worked in real estate, I've headed companies to 3 exits. What else can I say? Yeah, that's about it for me. So I handle all of the token side of things and the business aspect of things.
Yeah, from my side, I'm handling the marketing. So I've been working as a marketer for the last 17 years in big companies around the world. So I've worked in Amazon. I've launched a brand in different regions. I'm in the space in crypto for a couple of years now, early in NFT as well. So yeah, that's about me.
Thank you, guys.
And I think Stewart gave a detailed explanation at the beginning.
Yeah, I just like to do those cool movie posters you see in America. That's what I get to paint, so I'm very lucky. That's it. Nice and easy.
Quite humble. He's been quite
It sounds like you're being modest, Stuart, but also it does sound like fun. Okay, thank you guys. Appreciate it. So one more from the community that's been coming in. So we mentioned giving away watches combined with a combined value of 1 million US dollars. Could we, at this point, or is it too soon to specify what brands or exactly which watches they might be?
Oh yeah, we've already decided. So we're gonna have one Richard Mille. We're gonna have 4 Audemars Piguets. We're gonna have 2 Pateks, and then we're gonna have quite a few Rolexes. So we're most likely gonna go over 10 watches, but the cumulative value will be $1 million. I think we're probably gonna put out what those watches are by Sunday or Monday in the community, and we'll get the videos of the watches out later mid next week. And the watches will be given out live on Instagram Live during the mint. And I want to touch on this point so everyone understands how the raffle is going to work. So when we hit 1,000 mints, we're going to raffle off the first watch. It's going to be done live. You guys are going to see it happen. It's going to be a random number selector. We're going to use one of the most commonly used ones in the market, so everything's pretty transparent. When we hit 2,000 mints, we're going to run that raffle again on the initial 2,000. And then when we hit 3,000 mints, the next watch is going to be raffled off to the initial 3,000. So we've designed it so that the earlier you mint, the more chance you get of winning one of the watches, because your name is going to keep coming up in the raffles repetitively till we hit the 10,000, and then we're going to keep the RM, the Richard Mille is going to be sort of the giveaway at 10,000 mint.
Cool. So more incentives there to be prepared and take part early.
And that's why we've been so strict on our whitelist. I mean, some of the guys who've been here a while, they've really had to spend a lot of time in the community to get whitelisted. And that was one of the main reasons for it, because the guys on the whitelist are going to have a huge advantage when it comes to those raffles.
Yeah, that's a very good point, actually. And so I guess while we've been on the topic of actual watches themselves, so all of you guys, what are your personal favorite types of watches? If you have a blank check and you're going to buy a watch, what are you going to look for?
I mean,
you go. Sorry, go on.
No, you go ahead, Stewart. You go ahead.
At the moment, I have my eye on the Royal Oak Jumbo 39mm. So nice and simple. Just that's my AP is my next one. Is my next one for me. So
that's a beautiful watch, especially the new ones. I mean, they're stunning.
Yes, very much so. Yeah. But yeah, so we'll see how that one works out, because I think we know what the ADs are like. So, but there we go.
For me, it's definitely Richard Mille. Always been my favorite brand. So yeah, if I had a blank check and I could pick anyone which I wanted, there's one called the Congo. It's done by a famous artist actually called Congo, and there's 30 pieces of them, and each of them are hand painted. You can get so it's a very unique watch. If you own one, it's unique just to you.
I've Googled it here. It's really colorful, right? I'm looking at the right one.
Yeah, that's the one. And the dial is a skeleton
wow.
dial. It's each one is hand painted, so each one's unique. That watch, so like, a lot of people don't get this who are not from the watch world, which is quite important for everyone here to know. We're focusing on the top brands for the community, and these brands, they've been appreciating like at insane levels. There was an article that came out last week or the week before it, I think it was Bloomberg, saying the best investment in the past 4 years has been watches. They've appreciated 300-400%. So that Cryal Congo was a $600,000 watch when it came out 5 years ago, I think. Today it's around $2.3 million to get your hands on one. The watch Stewart was talking about, the AP, it's I think a $50,000 watch retail, which sells for over $200,000 today. So yeah. I mean, they're the best investments you can make.
Yeah, that's actually something I only learned recently, and I guess it's a function of working with you guys that I've learned this, that watches are a really good investment. Which I, you know, a side point. This isn't a question from the community or anything, but just something I was kind of speculating on myself. Is a nice coupling between like a speculative asset like an NFT, which you know can rise dramatically in value, or you know, the NFT market can be volatile, but to couple that with something that's a stable asset that has, you know, been shown to rise in value over time is quite an interesting approach. And that's just something I noticed basically when coming to understand CryptoBear Watch Club. So just we're almost at the hour mark. I realize we started a little bit late. I'm happy to continue for a little while longer. Is that okay with you guys? Do you have the time?
Yeah, we're here for the community. If you've got questions, we're here to answer them.
Cool. Well, most of the questions we've gone through so far have been asked in advance. So just at the start of the call, I set up an AMA channel where people could just post questions really quickly. So I'll take a look there and see what people have been asking. Are we going to increase the number of mints allowed per whitelist? I'm going to guess no, but I won't answer. I'll leave you guys answer that.
Yes, we were talking about the other day of because our whitelist is almost full. We were thinking of doubling everyone's allocation and doing it mainly purely on whitelist, the entire sale, which would leave very little for the public sale. We haven't decided on it yet. It is under consideration, but we are thinking about it.
Okay, cool. Interesting.
Unfortunately, I do have to chip off. I couldn't stay in for very long. I wanted just to come and say hello to the community very quickly. I will be around to answer any questions outside if anyone needs me to. You know, just please get in touch. But I have another meeting to get off to literally now, so I do have to unfortunately leave. But hopefully, I'll be catching up with you all very, very soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Stewart, for joining.
No worries, guys. Have a lovely evening. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Okay, so where were we?
We were talking about my favorite watch.
Yeah, sorry, apologies. We came away from that question too fast.
I know Otarim is the expert in the group, but I mean, he's hit really high. I think for me, the Patek Philippe Nautilus self-winding watch, I think it's beautiful, understated elegance, sporty. It's a classic from the 70s. I would love to have that. I think it's a great watch. You know, and it's silver, it's not gold, and it's just everything that represents, like, you know, effortless classical elegance.
Okay, what was the name of that one again? I didn't quite catch that.
That's the Patek Philippe 5712 Nautilus.
Okay, I'll look that up offline after the call. So thank you so much. Okay, so have you guys been involved working with other NFT projects? I know you all have extensive histories in, you know, various industries and stuff like that, but have any of you worked specifically with NFT projects before?
I've worked with 2 NFT projects. I can't really specify which ones they are. They were on the Solana chain, not on Ethereum. I helped build the roadmap in one of them, which is quite a successful project. It's one of the highest volume projects on Solana.
Awesome, thank you. Bear with me a second. Just would you say you guys are creating the Rolex of the metaverse? I guess that's in relation to the project, the CryptoBear Watch Club project as a whole. Yeah, would that be the Rolex of the metaverse, meaning the highest quality? I'm going to say yes, but I'll leave that to you guys.
Yeah, so some of the guys who've seen our roadmap from the start, we don't emphasize on it, but it is mentioned that we do want to develop our own Arcuda watch, which will be available exclusively for our members. And the way we'd go about doing that is creating a digital watch first. And the owners of the digital watch would be able to buy the real watches. But if you're in the space, you know that producing those watches takes a long time. It is on the roadmap, but it's pretty far out. But like I said, that's our end goal. We want to be the premium luxury brand in the NFT space, in the metaverse. And our strategy has always been to link the real world to the digital world.
Yeah, awesome. I'm just going through some questions here from the community, and there's quite a few. I guess this one, this next one is pertaining specifically to Sandbox down the line. So the Sandbox integration down the line, and I know that's quite a bit away. But are we certain that the high influx of bears entering Sandbox post mint won't affect the 3D experience in terms of quality?
So the way Sandbox is designed, it's in instances. So when you have, I believe it's 40 people in instance. I don't know if any of you guys here have played World of Warcraft in the past, but it's like when you enter one of those dungeons, you just get in there with your group. So you're in there, 40 of you, and if someone gets in, they can't see you. So it's designed in the same way. Once you're beyond 40 people, you'll be on the same location, but you'll be in a separate instance. And that's how they deal with lag and different latency issues.
Cool. Okay, so let me see. Someone said, I don't know if it's been asked already. We've kind of touched on this, and I don't know if it's possible to answer at this time based on how the Arcuda token is generated and how that works out. But is it possible to determine how much one token would be worth in USD? I don't think it would be at the moment, but I'm not sure.
No, so it's a utility token, so it gives you utility to buy merchandise and watches from the club. The way I like to think about it is the value of the token will really fluctuate depending on the royalties.
Yeah,
that's really the closest link you have to value the token.
Yeah, and even the price of Ethereum, I imagine, would play into that, as well. So there's too many variables to be able to confirm.
I mean, no, actually, if you do decide to list it on Uniswap, etc., you could provide the liquidity pool in USDT, so it wouldn't have to be linked to Ethereum. You could make it independent of that.
Okay. I was thinking more so in terms of fees generated from people buying and selling CryptoBear Watch Club NFTs.
Oh yeah, 100%. You're right about that. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let me see. Just trying to sift through here the questions to kind of find the ones that we already haven't touched on, because we've got through a lot already. And also I want to make sure to reserve a little bit of time at the end in case there's anything we want to go through or announce. So just give me a heads up if we want to go to that at any point. So a question here. I would like to know more about the business operation. How is the business managed other than what is already mentioned in the white paper team-wise? Are there functions like HR, risk management, cybersecurity, IT, etc.?
Yeah, so our cybersecurity guy is sitting right next to me. He's JC in the Discord. And yeah, so the way we're split up, the team is not that big that you need a dedicated HR function right now. We have a finance team, we have a creative team, we have the artists, we have cybersecurity, we have the developers, and the way we work is it's we sort of have product managers in-house who manage the process. And then, so our art is all in-house, but then when it comes to the code, we have a product manager, and then we get code done using different vendors, and then we audit everything and we put it up on the website. So all of our code for the smart contracts has been audited by 3 firms. So we're leaving no rock unturned when it comes to the security of the community.
Yeah,
and let me there add more more info here because I always tell Osarin that our team is big, and other project that they have just couple of people, 4 or 5 people that manage the whole project. Our team is actually is big, and for what we do currently because of how big is our plan. So we are almost 35 people as of now, and this team is gonna go bigger and bigger and bigger. So every function that we have in marketing, we have around 5-6 people. In creative, more than 10 people already working. So and in community management and every aspect that has its own team. So it's pretty well set up.
Yeah, absolutely, and you can see that in the even in the Discord here. There's quite a lot of people actually working and helping out in terms of moderation and taking care of the community. So that's really great to see. Okay, I think we're gonna have to call it a day soon. So I've just been looking to find one more good question before we end, and I suppose good time to say thanks so much to everybody that tuned in and took the time out to listen and ask questions. And just so everybody knows as well, if anybody had a slight delay entering the call at the start, or if anybody wasn't able to attend today, we'll be recording this anyway, so people will be able to catch up later on, and hopefully we can make this a regular occurrence. Okay, so one more question from the community. In relation to the NFTs themselves and how they're laid out, how they're designed, and each bear is holding a watch. Are the watches repeated in the NFTs, or does each NFT have its own different and unique watch? I guess that's going to come down to like rarity traits and stuff like that. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
So you need to think of the watch as a layer. So of course the watches will be repeated, but every NFT is unique because there are several traits associated with the bear. The tier 1 watches are much more rare. So the tier 1 watches might have a maximum of 8 to 10 in a collection. There's plenty of one-off watches, like a sapphire watch or some of those Tech Grand Complications. You won't see many of them in the collection. But yeah, of course, the watches are repeated, but each NFT is unique because there's almost 100 traits associated with the bear. So it's not going to be possible to get two identical NFTs.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I think we've really got through a lot here, and I think we've managed to, it's been a really good conversation. We've managed to answer a lot of questions and even touch on some things that weren't necessarily asked, but do sound very interesting and exciting. So I guess does anybody from the team, did anything we want to close out the call with?
Yeah, on a closing note, I would like to say that, guys, we just started the project, the first NFT, many more to come. It's a great opportunity to jump in right now, and forget the price that you can see today, because it's gonna shoot right after the mint. We have seen that in many projects that's much smaller than us, that has less utilities than us, and our expectation for this project, the next day of mint, that's gonna shoot. So it's great to be in that early, and such much more to come.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say thank you to our community. We wouldn't be here without everyone involved. We've seen a lot of the members here from the beginning, and we've forged friendships. Some of the team members we met on Discord, and they're from all around the world, and they just flew over and have basically moved to where the team is. And it really shows you how the world is changing and how you can meet great talent online. And again, it's all about the community, and we are here for all of you guys.
Guys, just one of our best friends and one of the biggest influencers as well in the Middle East have just mentioned us in his reel. His name is Rashid Belhassa, Money Kicks. Watch out what he just posted about us in his reels. He is actually training with the bear. Watch out that.
One last note is before we wrap up, I just want to say this is just the tip of the iceberg. I mean, what's to come in the next 10 days is honestly extraordinary. It just takes time to craft good shit. And you guys are gonna see like really, really good stuff. Just like wait for a week and you see every day we're gonna put out better and bigger and better stuff. And the story will unravel with time. And just want to thank you for your loyalty at this early stage. And the way we imagined this from the beginning and the kind of planning and the kind of meticulous kind of finishing and everything is just beyond anything that's out there, which is just very shallow and superficial. We've really kind of gone really, really deep into it because we care and we're all dedicated professionals in this group. And we're doing all of this so you guys can really, really have something to be proud of and hope we can make you proud and stick with us and you'll see like some incredible things to come. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, guys. Thanks so much. Yeah, and one last final thank you to all the community. And we'll do this again soon. Cheers, everybody. Have a great day.
Cheers. Bye.